Okay, so today's question is how will those who are not needled, how would they be affected by when they're surrounded by those people who have been needled? So it's kind of like shedding. Okay, so these are the cards that I came up with, which is very interesting. It's very clear message today. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the question once again, oh yeah, so this is just storytelling, all right? Okay, so let's sit back and enjoy ourselves. So the question is, those who are not needled, how will they be affected when they are around those who have been needled? Okay, so I think the correct word is virus shedding. Yeah, so how will those who are not needled, how will they be affected by the virus shedding? So these are the cards that I pulled out. So basically it's this first card, and then I asked for the clarification card. So okay, now let's look back at this. This is the King of Cups. So as you can see here, he is sitting on kind of like cement chair. Is very, very stable. Okay, he's very, very stable. He's surrounded by waters. So to me, this waters represents the fluids which arises from, being around those people who have been needled or not needled. The moment you talk with somebody, the moment you are intimate with somebody, then you have all these bodily fluids. So how will we be affected? How will those people who are not needled be affected? And it seems that those who are not needled, they will be all right. Okay, they will be surrounded by all these bodily fluids, whether people breathe them out or otherwise. But it seems that here the King of Cups shows that he is on stable grounds, even though he is surrounded by these bodily fluids. Okay, so it seems that he looks comfortable. He is not fearful. He's not fearful. Okay, so then the next question is, where are these bodily fluids coming from? Okay, so this is the card that came out. So basically it is from these people who which is the Four of Pentacles. So if you look at the Four of Pentacles, is to me, this is somebody who is holding tight to the narrative which is given by the society. So he is holding tight, and as a result of that, this person not only got 2 needling, but he went on and got 4 needling. Okay, maybe 2 and then plus a booster and another booster. So here he is. So the virus shedding will come from such person. He's holding on tight to the narrative. This is also the narrative which is his perception. Okay. Okay, so yeah. So then after that, now this card means 2 things. One is that he has the 4 needling, and the other one is where he is holding tight to his views, okay, to his beliefs, to him. And this beliefs here, he probably thinks that he needs these needling because he needs to function in the society. So the society here is the buildings at the back. So he needs these pentacles, he needs these needling in order, because he needs to function in the society. But this is not just any person, but this is a person who wholly believes in the narrative which is pushed out by the authorities. Okay, so that's him. So as you can see, one thing that I noticed about this card today is the blackness. Okay, his cloak, okay, or his robe is black. Okay, it's like pitch black. Okay, so okay, then the next card that I took out was this card, because I asked for clarification, and this is what I got out. Yeah, it's pretty heavy, because I asked for a clarification card, and yep, I got this. So from here, what I'm getting at is that this person, he is getting his narrative from this one. Okay, so I am getting that. Okay, and the other card is, okay, there are basically, I mean, those people who got needled, I think some of them are aware that, there could be some negative effects, but they went on and got it anyway because they had to do it because of they needed the livelihood, or they needed to somehow provide for the family and so on. So but then there are those people who just totally fall for the narrative and think that this is the right thing to do and that everybody should be needled, that kind of thing. So there are two groups of people. And let's talk about this other group of people. So this other group of people here, if you look at him, this is the Hermit card. They kind of like feel all alone, okay? And they're looking down, and it's like they're going through a self-exploration. They're thinking whether they've done the right thing. They he kind of like have a look of remorse on his face, a regret, okay? But there's a star in the lantern, so that shows hope. So he got hope, and some of these people kind of like feel alone because they would be surrounded by other people who feel that there is no other way, that this is the right thing to do. The needling, we must get the needling in order to help the society, that kind of narrative that they push. Okay, and then there are those people who maybe they got the needling and they feel that something is not right, and that's why they feel alone. Okay, that's why they feel alone. Whereas this person who did not get the needling, he feels he's like sitting on this very stable throne, and to him, he is beyond this stage already. He's beyond this stage. He is okay. This one I will talk about it later, but he is beyond this stage already. He is, to me, this is like where he has taken back the power. Okay, so he never fell for this narrative. And where does the narrative come from? It comes from here. So what I'm getting here is that, the society that we live in, there is something darker which is underground. Okay, there is something which is darker, which is underground, and this here, it could represent where they control our subconscious mind, or it could physically be some kind of there's something underground that we don't see. It could be miles and miles underground. That is what I feel. Okay, and yeah, so here, this is where in the underground, you have people here who are doing his bidding. And these people, to me, it represents the authorities. It represents like people who don't think, because they are kind of like, okay, they are mind controlled, or they are brainwashed. Okay, so they are also kind of like have taken bribes or something like that, and so they are tied. They have to do his bidding. They are his slaves now, and his bidding is to make sure that everybody gets these needling. Okay, so this would be the people in authority. This could be the doctors and perhaps some nurses who really believe in the needling, or they just want to push the needling to as many people as possible. Okay, so once again, so these are the people who are, perhaps they got the needling, and there are some people who are doing the self investigation or self-examination to see, that life is not what it is. We need to go deeper. So this is what he's thinking. He kind of feels alone. And then there are those who are kind of like feeling self-righteous. Okay, so this is the underground, or perhaps a subconscious, okay, which is being fed to these people here. Okay, so once again, he is very much into this, the structure of the society, whereas him, where they are doing their self-examination, they are no longer tied so much to the societal structure. Okay, and these are the other two clarification cards that I drew out, but I will come back to it later. Okay, so now let's look at this card here. So the bodily fluids or the virus shedding will be coming from these two, okay? And so, but those who have not been needled, well, the card is saying that, once again, this is storytelling, okay? The card is saying that you'll be all right. You'll be all right, okay? The reason for it is because the King of Cups here, it shows a person who is a king of himself. Okay, so he has taken back responsibility for him, for his own self, self-empowerment. And the moment you have self-empowerment, whatever that you want for yourself, it can be manifested. So that is the power that this person has. Okay, and this person, he never fell for the narrative. Okay, he never fell for the narrative, so as these people did. Okay, so he never fell for the narrative. That means he was never affected by the narrative. Perhaps, when it first came out, then maybe he was confused, but there is kind of like this person is a king, a true king, and basically it represents the majority of those who were not needled, where they consciously chose not to be needled. Okay, now the thing is, he is looking to the right here. Okay, he's looking to the right, so let's see what he's looking at. Okay, so here we have the Ten of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. So to me, there's twofold meanings here. One is that he is, the thing about this person is that he has full power over himself. And when you talk about full power over himself, it talks about the power to manifest whatever you want to manifest. And I'm not talking about the negative manifestation here. These people, they are aware of their powers, or even if they are not consciously aware of it, but they have a feeling about it, and these people are good-natured people. So if they have this power to manifest, it would only be for the good. Okay, so he's looking towards the right here, and the card that comes out here is the Ten of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. So what I'm getting at is that so he realizes, or he feels, okay, or even if you don't feel or you don't realize it, but you are the king of your own, you are the king of yourself. Okay, so this kind of person, the next stage would be to expand himself. Okay, and how he does that is through being back into the community, okay, to build relationship with the community, and as well as to exchange, go into partnerships, that kind of thing. So his intention here, the next stage, the next natural stage would be to expand yourself. And perhaps in the physical manifestation, it would be shown through the community living, and as well as exchange of ideas or partnership with others on earth. Now, at the same time, I'm also getting the feeling that not only that, but when he wants to expand, it's not just confined to the earth plane, but it will also be more than the earth plane. And so he will want to expand with human beings, okay, and as well as with other entities, okay, from beyond the earth plane. So that is the feeling that I get, because I'm seeing a lot of these pentacle stars here, the stars here. Okay, so yeah, so basically for those who are not needled, and they made a conscious decision not to be needled, so basically you have this power over yourself, and the next evolution for such persons is for the expansion. Okay, and the other thing is, I just want to talk about when I say that this person is good-natured, what do I mean by that? Well, First of all, he's wearing a green robe. And to me, green is the color of peace. Red means that he has a strong desire. So he has a strong desire. And to me, blue means calmness. So this person is calm. He has a strong desire for self-expansion. And this self-expansion, it would be manifested by way of mingling or community building, and as well as exchange of ideas in order to expand the community and thereby expanding himself. And the other one is to communicate with, have discussions and as well as partnerships with those beings who are beyond the earth plane. Okay, so here you have a scepter. He's holding a scepter. So basically this signifies that he has power over his own kingdom. Okay, his own kingdom meaning he himself. And here he is having the empty cup here. So once again, the empty cup means that he wants to expand himself, and in order to do this he would need to look into other ideas, other discussions, and then from there fill his cup accordingly. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to these cards here. So these cards is those who have taken the needling. We can't just leave them alone. Yeah, so what's gonna happen to them? Okay, so basically it's like there are three stages here, or two stages. One is where you have taken the needling, or you are into the system and you have been affected by the system, either through the needling, reluctantly or happily. And then the next stage is where you are ready for self-expansion. So now let's go back to these two cards and see what's going to happen to these people. Are they forever going to stay this way? So and these two cards came out, which is the Page of Swords and as well as the Strength card. Okay, so let's look at this one. It's easier. Okay, so here you have the Hermit card. So basically these people are those who perhaps took the needling because they were forced to, and they don't feel right about it, but yet they have hope. Okay, so the needling is, the narrative is made up by to enter into your subconscious mind, or perhaps there is some kind of underground dwelling where it's dark and it's negative, and people who have been trained to work for him, and then now they are spreading out the false narrative to the society on the earth plane, or on the ground, so that they take the needling. Okay, so what happens to this person is that after doing some self-investigation or self-examination, they become the Page of Swords. So they become the Page of Swords, meaning that, you know, it's like this. So here he's like hunched over, and the moment he realizes, then he becomes like, he expands his chest. You know, his chest is outward, and he takes on a brave stance. Okay, so it's like he realizes what he needs to do now. So he is the moment he reaches this stage, okay, after going through some self-examination, he's very clear now. His mind is clear, and he's holding the sword, which is the Justice. It represents justice. It also represents clarification. It represents information. And also you see the birds here. So the moment that he finishes with the self-examination and comes to a realization, then he becomes a hero. Okay, he becomes a hero, and this is where he is going to uphold justice, uphold the true information, and he will get access to all the information, okay, which is represented by the birds. Okay, so self-examination, there is no information coming to him. He needs to examine himself, examine what his life is all about. Once he does that, then he is ready, and he is ready to basically to join the society who have been awakened. Okay, then you also have him, which is those who have, these people are really into the narrative. Okay, so will he ever wake up? Oh yes, he does wake up as well. Okay, so when he wakes up here, is the one on his head is no longer pentacle, but rather is an infinity sign. So the mind has opened up, and then from the black cloak, it has become a white gown, white. Okay, so here he is now, and so here you have this is the strength card, and you have the lion here. So the lion here, to me, it represents strength or courage. Okay, and it takes a lot of courage to break beyond your own paradigm. So he actually goes through a paradigm shift, or a kind of like a there's a big impact on his whole being, because sometimes our being is dictated by our beliefs, our perceptions. So he has made a big jump from black to white, and that takes a lot of courage. At the same time here, where he is looking into the lion's mouth, to me it could mean that he is ready to be healed from all this needling. Okay, and the other thing is about these two cards is that, okay, so for here, before they went through their transformation, he's standing on the concrete ground, and he's standing on the ice, okay? And when they go through their transformation, when they wake up, they are now very much in touch with nature, as indicated by the greenness here, the greenness. Okay, so that is with regards to those people who have taken the needling, whether they were forced to or whether they happily took it. Now, okay, so now let's go back to those people who did not take needling. So once again, the question is, would you be adversely affected by the virus shedding from those who have been needled? And for me, the cards here is saying no. Basically, these are the type of people who know how to take care of themselves, okay, and they have ways to take care of themselves. They are not dependent on the pharmaceutical industry. They are actually wise, so they are in charge of their own kingdom. Okay, that means the kingdom within. Okay, so what is the advice for these people here? So the advice for these people here is that just continue upholding your justice. Okay, lead a balanced life. And here she is, okay, she is just sitting there. She is not charging, she is just being. She's just being, okay? She's not saying anything. Basically, she is just being, okay, being who she is. So basically, that is the advice for those people who have control over their kingdom, and they are now looking at the next stage, which is for self-expansion. So the advice here is just to hold your ground. You don't have to say anything, you don't have to shout, uphold justice, lead a balanced life. Okay, then the other idea that came to me is that so basically he is also kind of like acting as a guardian to the next stage, and this is the next stage where you get to expand yourself, and it will manifest in terms of physical expansion on earth, and as well as expansion from whatever that they give us from the otherworldly entities. So here he is kind of like the guardian. So he is the guardian. So in other words, we're going into kind of like a different reality already, and he is the guardian. Meaning that if you want to go into this reality where there is expansion and you get access to, I don't know, advanced technology or whatever, you need to reach to this stage first, okay? Because this stage here, it cannot be touched by the negative forces. So because of that, that's what I mean when you are the guardian, okay? So he is the guardian, he will be guarding, okay? He is kind of like the door, okay? And if these people want to go through, okay, this door, this guardian, to get to this stage, then what they need to do is that they will need to reach to this stage themselves. Okay, but right now what these people are doing is that they are waking up. Okay, for him, he's kind of like half awake already. He just needs to find his courage. Okay, for him, he needs to go through a paradigm shift, which can be very, very difficult. So the moment once they have done that, then they need to get to a stage where they need to realize that they have power over their own kingdom. And the moment they do that, then naturally they will seek to expand themselves. And the moment that they seek to expand themselves, then the whole other world kind of expansion, riches, it will be shown to them, but only if they are ready. Okay, yes, and one more final thing. So here he is looking towards expansion. So once you want to self-expansion, automatically it will be manifested onto the physical plane, and you will also get these ideas or advances from the otherworldly beings. At the same time here, looking at this card, which is the Two of Cups, do not, what this card is trying to say is that whatever the other entities have to offer us, we also have to offer them. Okay, so that means it's a two-way offering kind of thing. They offer us, we also offer them. It's not one way where they're offering us. So so that speaks a lot about our power. So we as beings, we also have a lot of power. Okay, so that is why when the other worldly beings come and want to exchange, it's about exchange. It's not about them just giving to us. We also have something to give to them. Okay, so yeah, so I think that's about it for today. Thank you.